Out of all 30 some odd cars I've had in my life, I've had 6 Miatas. If I'm right on the math, which I'm terrible at math, I think that's about 20, a little bit over 20% of the cars that I've owned. I am not a convertible guy. I'm not a convertible guy by any means. I'm more of a coupe kind of guy, more of a sports car, classic look. Technically, the Miata is not a sports car, it is a convertible. That's why it's the #1 best-selling convertible, not sports car. And just to follow up with that, I have owned 5 S chassis 240 SXs. I've owned 5 of those, so you can say I was a fan of those. And I say was because the drift market totally destroyed those cars, and I'm kind of out of them. The more I look at them now, the more I see that their engineering is not the greatest in comparison to other old cars that you can buy. E36, E36. Speaking of E36s, in the past 3 years, I've gone, well, I should say 4 years, I've gone from an ND1 to a M2 competition, love the car. And then I had an E36 318 IS, which I also loved. E46 ZHP, which was a good car. Can't say I loved it, but I was definitely a fan of it. Also, for a month stint, I had a 1 Series, an E82 N54 platform 135i, which was a month of ownership, and I got the hell out of Dodge. I spent a lot of money in that car. To this day, I'm still recovering financially from that car. There's a reason why I came back to the Miata. Cost of ownership. I was in the midst of getting a new house, which I got, and the running costs of an M2 competition or any M car, I like to call the M tax, is substantial. The brakes, the tires, which I went through every 4 to 6 months, you're looking at probably around $3,000 to $4,000 on consumables between the M car. What's funny about BMWs is you go back to fix things that are stock on the car, like water pumps, rod bearings, all kinds of weird shit on those cars that you end up fixing over time instead of actually modifying the car. I can go on a tangent. Don't get me wrong, I love BMW, I do. The idea is great. If you can afford one, awesome, kudos to you. Me, I had to be real with myself. This is my hobby. I don't get paid to come out here. Consumables on these cars, insanely cheap, insanely cheap. For right now, a set of RE71 RS tires and 215s, I can get a whole set for around 900 bucks. For a set of non-performance tires on the M2 competition, let's say the Pilot Sport 4s, those cost me $1,600. And that was after my employee discount when I worked at BMWs. Gas, insurance. If an accident happens, if something breaks in the car, way cheaper. Hence why I'm back here. Am I upset about getting punted back to the realm of Miatas? Absolutely not. I do not miss the M2 competition. I don't miss the 1 Series by one bit, pun intended. E46 I kind of missed just because it was just a nice cruiser car. I felt weird about owning that car. That car was more of a looker kind of show car. It was in really nice condition. For somebody like me that abuses his stuff, doesn't clean his cars often, that just didn't make any sense for me to have. Now you come to the E36, love that car, but it served its purpose with me. It was just kind of a beater track car, which it's still in my friend group. It might end up in my hands at some point in time again, and I'd love to motor swap that car and turning it into a dedicated track car. But until then, I have the jack of all trades right here, except for storage, which is fine. I do grocery runs. I don't need all that space. This is a 2023 ND2 Miata. I was shopping for some of the twins at the time, GT86, FRS, Scion, BRZ, whatever you want to call it. A lot of my friends have those cars. I'll tell you this right away. They are a better chassis than the Miata itself. I didn't want to deal with the engine problems of those cars. The one thing that Toyota and Subaru did wrong was not put a Toyota engine in that car. They should have put a Toyota engine in that car, or else this would have been one of those cars and I would have been wearing a Toyota hat. But here I am. Again, I don't regret my decision by one bit. If you are on the fence, go drive both. But if you plan to track your car a couple times a year and you don't want to deal with oil consumption issues, the RTV issues, which I think they've addressed, right-hand sweepers dropping your oil pressure down to 20 PSI, I've heard, which is ridiculous, then do yourself a favor and get one of these. The car right now is stock. I have high temp brake fluid in here. I also do have an ISR muffler delete because I needed some more sound. It's a little bit raspy, a little ricey, a little drony, but it still sounds really good at wide open throttle. I have another exhaust on the way. That aside, out of the box, I'm gonna show you why I love this car so much, just because you can literally drive after you've broken the car in, after the dealership, to the racetrack and have a blast. Of course, get some race brake fluid as you get more comfortable with the car. Of course, you're not gonna be fast right away, but if you are a fast driver, I'm a pretty okay driver, not fast, but if you're a fast driver out of the gate, do yourself a favor, do a quick flush of the brake fluid and you're set to go. Yes, there is body roll. Yes, you have the kinematic posture control, kinematic posture, I don't know what they call it. However, you do have that on the car. Thank you for listening to my rant of my subjective opinion on why I love Miatas so much. Let's go take it out. Welcome to the ND2 experience. Let's go. Sounds great. Overall though, I love this car. I keep coming back to them because I don't have to worry about anything. You can literally just take them to the track and go. It's hilarious. Of course, I do actually have some race brake fluid in here. Have to do that. Okay, so it's not completely stock, but I mean, it's pretty much stock. ISR exhaust does what? Like takes off maybe half a second? I don't know. But I can feel it grip and rotate. God, this car just wants to just grip and go. Like these cars, I can't say it enough. They just beckon you to drive them. Like full beans, full tilt, go ham all the time. And I love them because, you know what? They don't complain about it. They give you everything you want and more. Right out of the box, you have a car you can take to the track, not worry about anything. Literally nothing, except for maybe brake temps, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm running the factory zero weight 20 oil, which is totally fine. It's fine right now. It's 70 degrees in Texas. We're having a beautiful day. Beautiful day. I won't be setting my fastest lap times filming, but I will let you know how fast it does run on this track whenever I'm not filming. And the reason being is because the pedal cam, it is definitely inhibiting my braking zone. Fuck, God, this car is just ridiculous. Woo! I wanted to rotate a little bit more. Good save me. I was coming in hot in that corner. I figure I'm gonna give it a little bit more steering input, and oops, not the right thing to do. Not the right thing to do at all. Oh, man, the body roll is bad. I mean, it's not like stupid, but it is bad. It's not like I hate this car, it rolls too much. It's not like that at all. The car itself does a really good job just kind of modulating and telling you what's going on, but the body roll is tremendous. Thing is, with some good brakes, some good sway bars, that's it. Not even tires. Tires would be a plus. That's going to come eventually. This car is going to be amazing. And the reason why I know that is because I had my ND1, the white car, which had pretty much an OEM Plus build. It was amazing on track. Good Lord, it's getting hot in here. But it's not the club. It is the GT. There you go. GT trim. Jeez, I can't. Come on. GT trim. And basically what you get in the 23, this has the Bilsteins and the LSD, which are the only things I really wanted. Because if you get the club and you try to upgrade those brakes or get wheels fitted there, it's a little bit of a wash because you lose those brakes. So you really just pay for the brakes in the Recaros, which are great, but I don't need them because I'm going to be upgrading the brakes anyway. I just wanted the LSD, the Bilsteins, and it worked out fine. Oh yeah, there we go. Now I'm getting better. Getting better with the, hopefully the pedal cam is better. But yeah, it wants to dance. If you give it more input, it goes a little bit, a little bit too much. Letting everything kind of cool off for a second. We'll be right back. I'm gonna cool down my brakes and we're gonna go for a lap. Now we're back. Let's go for this lap. A little sloppy under that braking there, but I think that might be me trying to dive a little bit too deep. And that's fine. You got to kind of just like carry the momentum. Carry that sliding momentum from the braking. Getting a little foggy in here. Smooth as fast. Getting some understeer right there. Tires are getting real hot. Yeah, real hot. All right. I'm going to try to squeeze some more out of this car. I was hoping to get a 135 today. It says target is 135, so we're going to go ahead and cool it down. But overall impressions, brakes right out of the box, not good. Put in race brake fluid if you're going to a track day, I implore you. The oil's fine for this motor, once again, 0-820, it's fine. I'm going to go to 530 eventually, but it's going to start being colder here in Texas. And I can stick with the 0-20. Sure, my old temps are a little high, but it's fine. Again, these cars are hyper reliable, and that's the reason why I didn't go for a new GT86 FRS, one of the twins, right? It's because I didn't want to deal with issues like the oil issues. Like if the GT86, if the BRZ, if they had a Toyota engine, oh man, that would be great. That would have probably solved everything, and I would have been in one of those cars. But again, here I am, sixth Miata, ND2. It is, I don't regret my purchase, not one single bit, because out of the box they're so much fun. They're decently quick, great gas mileage. If you see, I'm averaging 25.7 on the track, not on the track, but in general, 27.3 overall, which is not bad because I do drive aggressively, not as aggressively as I used to, but other than that, the M2 is great. Thing is, when I go through all these BMWs, I'm sitting there and what you're doing with BMWs, you're backtracking to their issues. You're going back to their issues and you're like trying to fix all these issues. God. BMWs, in theory, are great, but they're so expensive to modify, maintain, cost of ownership, reliability is questionable. I mean, some of them get really, really, really good reliables, and some people get a lot of not reliable cars with common issues. Luckily, they have common issues, but I can go on forever. I love BMWs, but dude, I went to the GT package of the Miata just because it has all the amenities. It's still plush. These seats are not bad on like a 2-hour drive at all. I mean, my legs and hips do get a little bit stiffened up. I mean, I am older, let's face it. But it's not bad. It's really not bad. I think I've heard of those Recaros like just not being a good time. I am so happy with this choice. If you are considering a Miata, just go for it. I'll tell you, it's never a wrong answer. If you need a daily and you don't carry a lot of stuff, and I do big grocery runs in this car, it does just fine. Like you don't need to worry about driving people everywhere. It's just me and my girl. It is such a fun time, man. I have a blast in this car, and I know what it can be. Can't wait to take out all this fucking sway, man. Like, this shit is insane. But overall, tons of potential. Tons of potential. Sway bars and some tires and some good brake pads, and you are flying in these cars. Love the ND2 motor itself. I didn't mind the ND1 because it did have some torque down below. I love the down low torque of the ND2. I'm sorry, the ND1. But up top, like around 6,000 RPM, they would just kind of wheeze out and flatline. But the ND2, like it continuously revs. Like it's not a huge jump like VTEC or anything, but it is a much more linear power band. The low end torque is not as solid as the ND1, but it's okay. Okay, so on track was a little bit hard to film because I had the top up and my head does kind of hit with the helmet at the top. I'm only 5'11", but with the helmet, it's a little bit tricky. I am gonna get seat lowering brackets at some point in time. I don't see the need for them right now, but we just took this bad boy out and I ended up taking some more laps after. I'm gonna go take some more because I got a 135.5.
Just a quick update. It's on pace for a 134.5. I definitely couldn't get a 133 out of it if I wanted to. However, my last run afterward, my brakes fried themselves. I don't think you can see it, but that little groove right there is not supposed to be there. I locked up quite a bit and dropped actually this tire off going up the hill. Was able to get down to 135 flat, so I shaved off a second. Pretty sure I can shave off another second. I was finding a lot of good time, but alas, these stock brakes.
Which is a solid time out of the box, just on a nice day like today. It's 70 degrees. The car performs really well, rotates fantastically. You can induce some understeer under braking. However, it's like maybe a split millisecond. Otherwise, the car just absolutely rotates. Yes, there is body roll. What I'm gonna do is basically turn this back into an OEM Plus build, just like my ND1 Miata. That car was perfect on track. Had the RE71R tires. You had the front and rear sway bars on that one, EBC yellow brakes. I'm gonna do Hawk HB Plus this time. Race brake fluid and maybe an exhaust and a tune on the ND1, which the ND1 does benefit from a tune a lot better than an ND2 unless you have some power adders. I'd eventually like to have some camshaft work. There is a company called BBR across the ponds. Those guys do a full package head build with upgraded camshafts revving to 8,000 RPM on the ND2. And they're saying you can get around over 200 rear wheel horsepower. Of course, I think that's running corn. I'm not sure about the 93 octane, but I would love to do that because you have like this pseudo new S2000, like this quasi S2000 almost. I am so enamored with these cars. There's a reason why I keep coming back to them. At this point in time, in my age, with all the cars I've owned, I'm always going to have one Miata in the garage for the rest of my life. I can happily and confidently say that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I appreciate you getting this far. If you're a Miata lover like me, feel free to like. If you want to subscribe, it's free. That would be super cool. It won't be a Miata bias channel. Some have seen it maybe as a BMW bias channel, but I love all cars, mainly JDM cars. Very, very happy, very excited to be back to my JDM roots. If you find somebody that is having a bad time, take him out in a Miata. There's no other car that puts a big stupid smile on my face like a Miata. It's so innocent. I'm gonna go on a tangent here for a second. There is no other car out there that puts a big goofy smile on my face more than this car. And that's street driving. Yes, I do speed on the streets. I do take corners faster on pedestrian streets. I'm safe, nobody's around, okay? Don't come after me. The funny thing is, when I did that in the M2, it's so fast, like it's ridiculously fast that people would think I was a total jackass. I'm not gonna disagree with them. However, with the Miata, I can do all that stuff and everyone's like, oh, it's so cute, look at him go. You know, I'm just flying around. And there is no funner thrill on the roads, on the track than this car. I am totally convinced after owning 6 of these cars. I've had a NA1, NA2, NA2 Turbo, which was a lot of fun. I hope to get that car back someday. ND2, another NA2, which had to cut springs and had a welded diff. That car sucked. It was fun for drifting, terrible car overall. And then now the ND2. So again, I'm not a convertible fan, but you can say that I absolutely adore these cars. And you know, it's kind of neat to be able to put the top down. I do live in Texas, and most of the time, most of the year, I don't really have the top down. I lie, I do have the top down, even in summer. I like sweating, I'm weird like that. But I digress, it's just, I'm just so happy. I'm happy, and I'm happy you're here. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye.